This episode of the Behind Ears podcast is not brought to you by Casey's Corn Dog Nuggets. That's right, Casey's Corn Dog Nuggets, only found at Casey's Corner. They're small, awesome little nuggets of hot dog and breadedness. It is so good. You want to get a whole bunch of them with fries. That's right, Casey's Corn Dog Nuggets. Get them with ketchup, get them with mustard, get them with cheese. Just get them. You can share, although it's going to be really hard to do so. Go ahead and get them as you wait for the fireworks show. Get them as you wait for a parade. Get them as you walk out of the park and enjoy them with a friend. Who am I kidding? Just enjoy them. That's right, Casey's Corn Dog Nuggets, available over at Casey's Corner. The Behind Ears podcast crew would like to thank the following sponsors for their generous support. If you have a little one and you're going to Walt Disney World, you're going to need a stroller. I'll tell you what, kingdomstrollers.com is the place where you want to look into. I'll tell you, I've destroyed my fair share of strollers while at Walt Disney World, and those things are not cheap. But getting something from kingdomstrollers.com, they'll be able to help you pick out the perfect stroller for you. And the nice part is that because they're a Disney preferred provider, they'll be able to drop it off and pick it up right from your Disney resort at no extra charge. So if you don't want to necessarily destroy your stroller in the process and you want to have a great Disney vacation with your little one, contact kingdomstrollers.com and they'll set you right up. That's kingdomstrollers.com.
A new coffee for Expedition Roasters, Curiouser and Curiouser. This tag says drink me for a Wonderland coffee crumb cake experience. Oh my, I feel so exhilarated. And look at all of these other handcrafted themed coffees and teas they have. It's like falling down a rabbit hole into the most wonderful coffee and tea party. Now you better hurry, you don't want to be late. So head over to expeditionroasters.com to brew a little magic at your home. Behind the Ears podcast listeners, be sure to use code EARS20 for 20% off your next purchase with us. Brew your happy place.
Coming to you live from our studios on the East Coast and in the Midwest, it's the Behind Ears podcast, because everybody does Disney differently.
Welcome back, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Behind the Ears podcast. I am Uncle Danny, the man on the other side of the screen. I'm not going to even point this time because I'm probably going to get it wrong. And that is Mr. Chris. Sir, how are you doing on this fine Tuesday evening? So he's muted. Oh, hi. How we doing? I'm Uncle Danny. This is Behind the Ears podcast. You are now listening to another technical glitch brought to you by Casey's Corn Dog Nuggets. Once again, this is Behind the Ears podcast. I am Uncle Danny. That is Mr. Chris. Hey, things happen. Let's keep on rolling. It is a fine Tuesday evening here. Sir, how are you doing? Okay. Guess he's doing good.
I'm doing great. I really am. I mean, it was kind of funny because things were working 10 seconds ago, and then all of a sudden, they stopped working. But hey, we keep on rolling with the punches because that is just who we are. Some people would edit that crap out. We say it adds character. Yoo-hoo! So I'm doing fine, Danny. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm excited to be back. If anybody, who's seeing this shared on a different page has been wondering if we had taken time off, no, we just couldn't share it properly. But we got that all squared away. We also did a fun show last week where we did our top 10 favorite rides. We didn't get the episode out quick enough for all our podcast listeners. So we're going to extend the competition until Thursday. And basically where we're at right now, it's a bit of a landslide, and I'm kind of happy about that. The contest was whoever voted for the right one, and we mean the right one, it's whichever one won. We're going to pick one random person out of there, and we're going to send you a free pin. But you might say, what's the question? Where can I find it? You can find it over at the WDW Community Facebook page. And both of our finalists was I had Expedition Everest. Chris had Rock and Roller Coaster. So we threw it up there. And currently, Everest is winning 101-66.
Yeah.
Bit of a smack in the mouth.
Yeah. It was a little bit of a little bit of a challenge there, and I wasn't doing any campaigning or anything like that. But
I didn't campaign. I don't need to campaign. When you're right, you're right. Remember that.
I don't know what to say.
Well, what I do know, let's try that again. What I do know is that we have something interesting coming out tonight. You might say to yourself, what is tonight's episode all about? And maybe I would just tell you to go look at the top of the page when you clicked on it, but maybe you don't want to do that. We're going to give you our top 10. Chris labeled it as things because so originally the show idea was going to be top 10 attractions, rides that we don't like. Chris is having a very hard time finding 10. I'm having a very hard time keeping it to only 10. So we're on different spectrums here. So we're going to do a top 10 Disney items.
And I don't like the idea of saying things that we don't like.
I'm sorry.
Things we don't care for, because I just think it sounds better because I may not like it, but someone else might like it.
But then should you have changed the first show to top 10 favorite rides? Because just because you like it doesn't mean other people like it.
Okay, so on with the countdown.
Okay.
Well, I should do my best, Casey Kasem. And now, on with the countdown.
So I'm assuming you can't start.
What?
I'm assuming you can't start this since you're having a bit of... You can start it?
I'll start if you want me to.
Okay, I would like that.
And I will also go ahead and say that I think things, attractions, etc., that have been recently retired, I think should also fall into this category. Just because.
All right, I don't know where you're going with that, but I guess once you use that one, I will be like, oh.
You see what I'm saying? Okay. So my number 10.
Correct.
And you'll understand this right away.
Oh, okay, cool.
The one attraction that I could not really fathom at all. I mean, it was the one attraction that, quite honestly, I just thought it wasn't just a waste of time. I just really did not like this one. It just was not for me. And I know there are some people that really liked it. I don't know why, but there are some people that really liked it. And that was Stitch's Great Escape.
Huh.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And,
okay.
I mean, now the reason is that I liked the pre-show. I thought the pre-show was actually really cool. I thought it was much better themed when it was Alien Encounter.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and reason why I thought is because you think Alien Encounter, you're automatically going to think something scary, something spooky, and it lived up to its name. Now I still really didn't care for it then because I'm not a scary type of person. Some people say I'm a scary person. I'm not a scary attraction type of person. So like going to Halloween Horror Nights at that other park, yeah, not my style. And so that was one thing. I wasn't really too sad to see it go bye-bye. I mean, I like Stitch. I think Stitch as a character is great. I just thought that the attraction was just not matching up with, who I think Stitch is. I don't know. I know he's an alien. It was an encounter. Go figure. But yeah. not one of face.
That's not bad. I actually it didn't make my list, surprisingly, but that's not a bad one. I don't mind that one at all. I actually kind of I'm a little upset I didn't add that one. My number 10.
Mm-hmm.
Alien Saucers over at Toy Story.
Really? That actually made your top 10.
It just cracked it. Made number 10. It's a bad ride. I get the concept of it. I do. I understand for kids. I get it. But to me, the theming was horrendous. I thought the queue was non-existent, outside of, people like, but there's a giant buzz out front. How do you not love it? I don't consider that buzz part of that ride because they have a giant Andy out front. So to me, that's just a statue inside of the park, which happened to be right in front of that ride. You could have put it anywhere. Heck, you could have put it on top of the bathrooms. I wouldn't consider it part of the bathrooms. I would just consider it, hey, it's on top of the bathroom. Yeah, the ride was, I understand it's supposed to be herky jerky. It to me is a glorified what?
No, I don't think it's herky jerky at all.
Well, because it kind of.
Well, that's more squishy wishy, if you ask me.
Yeah. It's a glorified carnival ride. That's literally what it is. You would find this at any local state fair, county fair, whatever. Disney just slaps some new colors on it, and it's a little bit smoother because it doesn't get transported around the country. So yeah, I'm sorry. I don't care if because it's new, I can't attack it. No. If anything, it should be higher on my list because it's new, and I think it was that big of a flop.
I can't disagree with any of that. I mean, because I think there was a lot of hype for it, and it's a cute ride for younger kids and stuff like that. Obviously, that's one of those things. But I can't remember whether or not I posted the video of my son and I riding it, this past spring break, and it is cool and all, but it's a minute, 1 minute.
Yeah.
And some people are waiting in line an hour and a half for a minute worth of that. So we'll have to, I don't know. I'll have to kind of figure it out. We'll have to work with that. So,
all right. Your number 9.
Okay. My number 9. And I think this is actually going to show up on your list later, if not pretty darn close to the top, I believe. Peter Pan. And the only reason why I say Peter Pan is that the attraction itself, I think, is actually really cool. I just don't understand why that thing has a 2-hour wait at times. I just don't get it. It's a very cool Omnimover type of attraction that, you're in the air and there is some coolness to it, but it goes by very quickly. And I also don't think that your eyes adjust to the darkness enough to really enjoy it once it finally gets into the inside. That's just me. I think the story of Peter Pan is absolutely fantastic. I really do. But, and I think being suspended is actually really cool. I really do. But man, it's kind of like, why in the world do people wait in line that long for that attraction? I will never, ever understand. And I know that you probably feel the same way in some cases.
Yeah. I gotta stay neutral on this one because it will appear later in my list.
I know you better.
My number 9. I think it's gonna shock a lot of people again. It's a very new ride, Navi River. Once again, don't understand the wait. I'm assuming the wait is because everybody's frustrated and doesn't want to wait on Flight of Passage, so they go over there and it's the new hot thing on the block over in Animal Kingdom. So why the heck not? Let's, migrate our way over there. It's a small world, and as you will see later in my list, you will understand. The coolest part is probably the end. The animatronic that they were able to build is absolutely phenomenal. I will give them that. It took me a while to really understand what the ride was trying to show you, and I do feel like that had been a theme, at least for me. Maybe I'm lost a few brain cells along the way. That seems to be a thing with Animal Kingdom, because even Rivers of Light, it took me about 4 times watching it to be like, oh, that's the message. Didn't get that one.
I give you that. I really will.
So I really don't. I find it a waste of a ride. And, outside of Flight of Passage, we just kind of walked through there 1, 2, 3 to show Lindsay what it was about. And we didn't touch it. We couldn't get a Flight of Passage fast passes. So we didn't do anything in that park, So, I mean, maybe one day, do I give it another shot when the line goes down? Sure. Maybe there was bugs that they kinked out. I mean, we were there literally a couple weeks after it opened. So maybe I don't think it's changed. I have never read anything that it's changed. But maybe in a few years when maybe when Star Wars opens, maybe when we're there for Food and Wine and in September, maybe we'll give it a shot. But yeah, that made my top 10, not at number 9.
Okay, so that's your number 9. Unfortunately, this is going to sound like a repeat, but Navi River Journey made it to my number 8.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I think it is eye candy at best. The music is great. The visual is great. Too short. Not enough explanation of the story. Because if you've never seen Avatar, you may not understand the pinnacle of that entire attraction, which is the shaman at the very end. And the thing of it is that if you don't know the story of something, you need something that leads up to it. And I don't think the pre-show really leads up to it. I just think they could have done so much more with it. Again, I like the attraction, but it's still on my bottom list because it's not something I'm going to sit there and wait an hour for. I mean, that's like waiting an hour for spinning saucers,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. As much as I really like the attraction, there could be so much more for it. So, and I'm a big Avatar fan. I'm a big fan of the movie. I'm a big fan of Pandora. I'm a big fan of Flight of Passage. And, again, I think the attraction's gorgeous. I think the technology they used for it was just amazing. But if it detracts from it, I can't really argue with it. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
All right.
Obviously, I agree. So this next one is a little bit painful for me because I actually enjoyed this attraction growing up quite a lot. But it's going to be Country Bear Jamboree. And it pains me to put it on this list. But the thing is I don't want to hear click, 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 click. And all you hear is clicking because that is the plastic eyes opening and shutting. And then some of the bears and the moose on the wall, they're like they're drunk. Like one eye's open, one eye's not. Like then they'll talk, and then they'll talk, and their mouth won't move, and then they'll shut down, and then the mouth will start moving. The ride is extremely outdated. It just needs a good overhaul. This is not a list of what we want to get rid of. This is just a list of we just don't like it, and this is my reasoning behind it. Is I think there needs to be serious money dropped into that attraction. That was my number 8.
I think I don't think I can really argue, and you'll find out here in a little bit. But I will say I've taken a good nap or two there.
Yeah. I don't know how you sleep with that clicking going on in the background.
I
make it work.
I could sleep like you wouldn't believe it. I mean, but the thing of it is that, I mean, a good refurb. I mean, is that something too bad to ask? I mean, the story of the Country Bears, I think, would be a lot of fun for the next generation. But John is saying, the Country Bears is old tech compared to other attractions. Yet it's still a classic.
Oh, I'm not saying everything should be Navi River. I don't want that. I love the nostalgia of Country Bear.
Yeah.
But you're telling me we can't fix clicking eyelids?
I mean, they did when they refurbished It's a Small World, because a lot of times you would hear the in Small World, especially for the animatronics that were really really close. But they kind of fixed that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny though. Stephen here mentions same clicking happens in Tiki Room. He says, but I love the Tiki Room, and I've obviously never seen the Country Bears.
I honestly was gonna do like a twofer because I was gonna say Country Bear Tiki Room, but I honestly,
okay,
I just felt it was unfair.
But before we go on, Brian mentions this. Classic means past its time everywhere but Disney. It's time to bulldoze it.
I somewhat agree with that. I mean, I agree with the bulldoze.
There's a nugget of truth to that. but use bulldoze as a term for either refresh, reimagine, redo.
Yeah.
That would be my take. I can't really disagree, but at the same time, there are classics like Carousel of Progress. Are you really good at bulldoze Carousel of Progress?
No, but like that's why I said I don't want it to be bulldozed. I more wanted just a clean update to it.
No, I completely agree. All right. So let's see. 10, 9, 8. We're already at number 7. We got to slow down a little bit. I'm really kind of disappointed in this one because I think that its previous version really was a lot better than this attraction in its current form. And I'm not even gonna get the name totally right, but it's the Up Bird Show in Animal Kingdom. And I'm really saddened to say this one because I was looking through some pictures from a couple of years ago and I caught some of the most awesome mid-flight shots from the Birds of Flights of Wonder. That's what it was, Flights of Wonder. And while the story was a little bit corny, you know, with the tour guide and stuff like that, I really found that this particular revision of the show just felt too forced. It felt like, you know, Russell and Doug were injected into the show much more strongly than I think was necessary. And I'm a big Up fan in the movie, you know, from a movie perspective. You know, I love the character Doug. You know, I love the character. I love Russell's character too. But I don't think that the message of the attraction itself was as strong or defined as its previous version. I probably would not go see it again for, you know, at least another trip or two. I didn't see it last year when it was brand new as Up. And, you know, I went ahead and did it. And all of us walked out a little disappointed. And maybe we had high hopes. I don't know. But unfortunately, it ends up on my list, my friend.
Speaking of something that I haven't done in a few trips and I don't really miss it, and this would be number 7 on my list, it's going to be Tom Sawyer's Island.
Okay, I can understand. I'm really eager because I was toying of putting Tom Sawyer on my list too. In fact, nope, I didn't put it on my list. Why? I have to say why. I have to ask why.
There's nothing there anymore. I mean, not that there ever anything really was there. It used to be the spot to kind of go and relax a little bit. They had the little, I know there's a name of the restaurant. Well, the little kiosk they had there. It
was Aunt Polly's.
Okay, Aunt Polly. I knew it was Aunt something, but my mind kept going to Anti-Gravities, and I was like, that's not right.
Oh, man.
Yeah. To me, it's an extremely large footprint. And I'm going to also throw in another one. I'm going to throw in the A part of this. And that's also going to be the ferry boat. I think if you take out all of that, you are talking about a monster footprint inside Magic Kingdom. A monster footprint. You are now possibly talking about an additional land inside Magic Kingdom. That is huge. And just to me, think about it. The ferry boat just goes in a giant circle. It's extremely slow. You just bake out in the sun. Never found the reasoning behind it. And I know I see Brian saying that Aunt Polly's reopened. That's wonderful, but what I don't understand Tom Sawyer's Island. The coolest part of it is going in the cave. Outside of that, they've got these rickety old bridges that I was very suspect they were going to hold my weight. Very suspect. I'm on that raft and I was by myself and I was kind of leaning in the corner. I was like, this raft goes down. We in some trouble.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question.
Oh, boy.
Have you seen the movie Tom Sawyer or have you read the book?
Yeah, I've read the book. I saw the movie, correct.
Okay. I just wanted to be sure because
I understand what they were going for.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why they were doing that. You see what I'm saying? Like
No,
when they had the old Tom Sawyer canoes, I never got to witness them, but I've read about them. There was more theming, the whole Frontierland. I understood that. But they took away the canoes because they had too many people sinking them and getting extremely hurt. And now they've got the flumes that go over there, but there just is nothing there for me to justify that giant footprint. Think about what you're going to be surrounded by. You've got Big Thunder Mountain, and then you have Haunted Mansion in the corner, and you're going to have Tron looming out in the distance.
Right.
You're talking about that's prime real estate that you could. All right, let's even just say maybe people are going to argue. I can't see comments, but maybe they're going to argue it's not enough for another gate. Fine, but you can still add a monster expansion to something.
Well, it certainly would not be enough for another gate. Not another gate.
No, I didn't mean gate. I'm sorry, another land. Excuse me.
Okay. Gotcha.
Like you were telling me you couldn't fit Pandora there. Now, not saying I'm just using Pandora's size. I think you could have fit Pandora in that footprint. Now, granted, I don't know the logical aspect of being able to dredge the water or fill it in and, level it all out, or if they'd have to keep the water there and build a bridge. I'm not sure what the process is to do that. Mm-hmm. But to me, that's a lot of footprint for a whole lot of nothing, in my opinion.
I will tell you this. It took me like 3 or 4 visits to Tom Sawyer's Island before we were able to find like the outpost.
Yeah.
And that was kind of interesting.
At least make it more educational then.
I think you could. I think the thing is, okay, so do you kill it off or do you refurbish it?
I mean, I would say kill it off just because of the way the market is and what you could add there could be. I mean, you could literally throw another roller coaster there. Now, I don't know if Magic Kingdom needs it because you would have Space Mountain, you've got Big Thunder Mountain, you're gonna have Tron, you've got some big time attractions in Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, you do. I mean, that would be understandable.
Let's throw some love to Moana. But now I think you're missing the boat. I think by the time you ended up permitting and developing, you'd miss the boat from Moana, but maybe the next Moana-esque.
See, here's my sticking point to this. I realize we're kind of going off track a little bit, but I think this is a good conversation. My biggest stink to this is the idea that what Disney property goes there. We mentioned Moana, which, yeah, you mentioned that before, that it would actually be a relatively easy redo to make it a tropical island with like Moana and Maui, stuff like that. But the problem of it is that this is a case where Tom Sawyer is a classic and yet Moana is a modern. And I think it's difficult to spend that much capital on an update project when you don't know whether or not it's going to be a classic.
But does Disney own the rights to Tom Sawyer? Well, Disney didn't create Tom Sawyer.
No,
Disney created Moana.
True story to both. True statements to both. I would agree with that. But I'm just kind of throwing that out as a little bit of a thought process, because you're right. A lot of the classic stories that the Walt Disney Corporation produced, Walt Disney Pictures produced specifically, were a lot of stories that were basically being retold, that they were licensed or bought. Not a lot of those particular stories were, there were some that were very much original, but a lot of them were adapted from classic books, so to speak.
Yeah.
Even Mary Poppins, we know, wasn't necessarily created by Disney. It was, even Winnie the Pooh, was, from a book. Disney just brought it to life, and in great ways, I might add too.
Yeah.
So that's just something to kind of take into consideration.
Yeah.
So shall we continue?
We shall. You will be on number 6.
Yeah. So unfortunately, this is kind of a repeat from what you mentioned earlier, and I'm going to throw in there alien saucers, swirling saucers. Pretty much for the same reason that you said. I mean, again, I liked it. It was fun, but for a minute wait, no. I waited 15 minutes, thought that was fine.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That is perfectly okay in my book.
Yeah, that was fine. And my son and I had a blast. In fact, I found he had his GoPro and we had it on his handle. So I'm holding the handle as we're getting spun around and stuff like that. He and I had a blast, but it's still not one of my favorites. Still had a blast. See, that's one other thing. One other thing I want people to realize. Just because it may be on our top 10, or our bottom 10, if you think about it, lists, the fact of the matter is, it's not like they're bad. They're just not our favorites. There's a difference.
I'm about to get into some pretty bad rides here in a second.
I'm trying to remain
positive. Be political. I'm not.
I mean,
very PG. This is rated R.
Whatever. But the fact of the matter is that you can't say that we're hating on anything because we're really not. Like, some people will like some of these attractions.
No, my next one is going to get me in some trouble, but my 5 through 1 are straight heaters, and I'm about to go off when we get to them.
Oh, gosh. Okay, well, I'm sitting down, as people can tell. Right ahead.
This one's a controversial one.
Uh-oh.
Number 6 for me, Spaceship Earth.
Whoa, really?
And all right. So they just had an update how long ago?
It was a long time ago.
Oh, I thought they did one in like the mid 2000s.
Well, the mid 2000s,
That's
dude.
True. It has been quite a while. All right.
Well,
but it needs and now granted, we understand that it's about to. So let me preface it with the idea of things are changing. But when we went on it literally, I'm not exaggerating, it stopped 15 times. Now, granted, could it have been 15 people with a disability or maybe who couldn't get in the ride very quickly because it is that turnstile? Sure. But 15? No, to me, it sounds like your ride broke down a few times and you just jump started with some cables. It's everything just needs a good update. And that's what the theme of my first 6, is update. I think the coolest thing I'm going to miss, but I'm also going to rag on it, is when you lay back and you're looking at the stars. But if you stare hard enough, you could, obviously there's strands of light. Sorry if I just ruined it for somebody, but it's super cool. But at the same time, it's like, all right, we have the ability of screens and things of that nature. We don't need to rely on old technology when it comes to it. And the exit area is the dumbest thing I've ever walked through in my life. How many times did we try to send the pictures to our emails, Chris? I never even made it up on the screen.
The thing of it is that 10 years ago, it was a pretty epic and it worked really, really well. And there's one thing about tech that I think people don't realize. It really does need to be refreshed on a regular basis. And since Siemens left the picture, so to speak, I think that some things just haven't been working right. And I could be totally reading into that a little bit. I'll admit it. But I will tell you that after they reimagine Spaceship Earth, which, hey, they're taking it down for quite some time. And I would like to believe that they're going to kick butt and take names on that redo. So
I really hope. I truly do. I hope.
So let me read a few comments here really quick because, you decided to cause a coup.
I don't know. I'm going through some of these comments. I'm getting a lot of love. I appreciate it.
Well, okay, I see what you mean by love. Mary mentioned, hey, I wrote it in January. It was awful. Brandy says, OMG, I love Spaceship Earth. Brandon makes a pretty interesting comment. He goes, I don't hate it, but I'm also not going to wait in a line 20 to 25 minutes to ride it.
And every day we were there was a minimum of a 45-minute wait.
Yeah, I mean, I actually used a fast pass for it.
I had to burn a fast pass. I was very upset about it.
Our man on the street, Chris, basically says they usually line up all the disabled riders at once. There are times where it will stop 10 or 15 times within a few minutes just because of that. Bailey agrees with you, I think. That's what she was saying. The story, Mary basically said the story only had Steve in it, not me or my daughter. And let's see. Bailey also mentions we had just made it off, and my picture just launched off, and nobody else's came on the screen, so they were already gone too. And the lines for the emails were too long, so they just left. And Mary also mentions that the disabled area inside was so dirty, which I'm like
uncharacteristic of this.
Brandon does say, "Hey, it's a good place to cool off."
Is it though? I didn't find it cool in there when we were in there.
Well, the thing is also we didn't necessarily go when it was warm either.
They might not have had anything, I don't know. I was warm a couple days, but
yeah. So I think it's going to really be very receptive to a refresh. I mean, I still remember when Jeremy Irons did the voice of the narrator, and I found pictures that I took that, of the scenes that weren't there anymore.
Yeah.
And I was kind of strolling through memory lane a little bit. It was very cool and interesting, but I cannot wait to see what comes of it now.
So as we're about to crack in the top 5, let me just do a quick recap if you don't mind. Chris's 10 through 6 is Stitch's Great Escape at number 10. Number 9 was Peter Pan. Number 8, Navi River. Number 7, The Up Bird Show. And number 6 was Alien Saucer. If you come over to my side, it is number 10 is Alien Saucer. Number 9, Navi River. Number 8, Country Bear Jamboree. Number 7, Tom Sawyer's Island, and wrapping up with number 6 was Spaceship Earth. So we're going to move here into the top 5. Everybody hold on to your seats, because honestly, I don't know where Chris is going with this top 5, and he has no idea where I'm going with my top 5.
No.
I bet he can name a couple of my top 5 because I'm just predictable in that aspect, and I'll tell you that neither of those that I know you're thinking of, the 2, neither of them are my 1 or 2. There's a number 1 that nobody would guess.
Okay, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to wait for it, but I'm going to give you my number 5.
Please go ahead.
I have a feeling you may be shocked at this, or maybe not. Again, I'm going to go ahead and preface this with, it's not that I hate this attraction. It's just that I don't think, it's just not one of my favorites, although I do like it. Okay. Indiana Jones.
Oh, I really wanted to put that one on my list. I can't stand Indiana Jones.
Here's the thing. I'm a big Indy fan. I'm going to let you know that right now. I'm a big Indiana Jones fan. I love the movies. Harrison Ford totally, completely rocks. And I think it's really cool, but at the same time, I think they should redo it in the sense of, hey, pick a different scene, recreate something where they could do a different scene from another one of his movies. Although the scene that they are doing is very iconic, and I get it. And it's also somewhat educational because you get to learn a little bit about behind the scenes in the movies, especially when it comes to stunts.
Yeah.
The reason why I say that is, that was kind of why Hollywood Studios was so popular, is because you kind of felt like you were a part of the movies when you were there. And when they had the, backlot tour, that was actually a really cool tour where you could see how special effects are done and so on and so forth. And I always thought that was really cool, which is obviously no longer there. So if you think about it, while I may not necessarily care for it, while I think they could redo it into another component of Indiana Jones that would show stunts, the fact of the matter is, switch it up so it's more. So I like to think it would be a little bit more entertaining, especially if they come out with another Indiana Jones movie.
That's a different story.
It is. I think if they came out with another Indiana Jones movie, they can mix it up a little bit. And I think that would be fantastic. I'm not saying I hate it. Yeah. I'm saying, hey, reimagine it using some what I consider to be a classic storyline of movies. And I just think that would work better. That is my 2 cents.
Okay.
So
I'm
by the way, speaking of Hollywood studios, I can't throw this up there, but Alex is kind of asking us, what's our opinion of the new Hollywood studios logo?
Am I the only one in this world who liked it? I thought it was simple. I didn't think they went above and beyond by any stretch.
They
But it was
didn't.
kind of cool. Like I didn't have a problem with it.
I didn't have a problem with it either. My only problem is this. And this is me being nitpicky to the extreme. I think they should have put Mickey in the first O in Hollywood instead of BB-8. Mickey. First thing you see as you read it, Mickey.
Yeah, no, I agree. I can definitely agree with that. Like I said, were there flaws to the logo? Yes. But I saw the outrage, and I will literally, I'm not exaggerating, the outrage of this logo, and I was like, it's not that bad, and that's coming from somebody who doesn't like who doesn't like Star Wars. I didn't care that BB-8 was there. I think, I agree that Mickey maybe should have been first, but I wasn't overly disappointed with it. It didn't blow my socks away by any stretch of imagination. I checked my feet just now. They're still on. So outside of that, I don't know.
I did not have a problem with it. I actually think it's a nice, crisp, clean logo.
It's a little boring.
It's here's the thing. I bet you any money it looks better in person.
I'm sure it does.
Okay.
Okay.
So
My number 5. This one's funny. I find it funny. Move It, Shake It parade. Oh my God, don't even allow them to perform anymore. And it's nothing against performers. They do a fantastic job for what is choreographed for them.
You just don't like the Miley Cyrus based song.
No, I just don't like anything about it. I don't like their costumes. I don't like those freaky tall guys and their stilts running around. I don't like the floats. I don't like the music. I don't like the colors of it. I don't like any of it. I think that is... Who needs that parade? That is a waste of time. You know what? No, keep it around, because all you dum-dums that want to sit on the curb and watch it, give me a chance to go ride the rides. Yeah, you dum-dums for watching it. Every day. That stupid parade. It irks me. I'll tell you what, that one and my number one I'll go off on. That one irks me. No one could say no one can sit here and logically tell me you like that parade.
It is funny to watch Mr. Incredible shake it to that, though.
And I see what Beth's saying. My son and nephew love it. Great. But read her next sentence. Because they're 8. Yes. 8-year-olds love shiny, bright things that make a lot of noise. Yes, of course.
Tracy, though, says, my 4-year-old is not a dum-dum. She's the boss.
But does the kid want to watch it and she's staying for it? Or does she like it and forcing her kid to stay? Because then my statement might still stand.
All I know, but speaking of parades, Chris makes it very clear as he yells at us in all caps, I might add, when he says, bring back the electrical parade or give us paint the night. Walt Disney World needs a nighttime parade back. There you go.
I agree. I mean, I really truthfully don't want paint the night. That's a story for another day. The electrical parade, I definitely would like back. That would be fantastic. That is something I've got no problem sitting around and watching. Shake It, Move It. No, thank you. All you're doing is impeding my process of shopping. So,
by the way, Christine calls you Uncle Sassy Pants.
You haven't seen nothing yet. I might stand up and announce my number 1.
Oh,
what is your number 4?
Okay, this is don't think I'm copping out on this one, but I'm going to go ahead and say it like this. Okay, any circle vision type of movie.
Fair enough. Wait, hold on. old school circle vision, or what happens if they brought it back where it's still circle vision, but it's more of like a 360, like a 360. Yeah, like the whole thing.
If they reimagined it, so basically it's an inverted Omnimax type of dome. Well, I can't say Omnimax anymore. That's copyrighted. Sorry. Where you look up and it's, above you and not just, circular screens around you. I would go with that.
But it's circle vision, right?
But it's, that would be dome vision if you think about it. Circle vision, it's, what it is. It's not that I don't really care for them. It's just that, for goodness sakes, please update them once in a while, at least once every 10 years.
Well, weren't they just doing Canada? China?
I'll admit I haven't been to the China one in a few years, and I haven't been to the Canada one in a few years. But to me, here's the other problem. You're standing. You have lean rails, but here's the problem with the lean rails.
Sit on those rails,
dude. If I
get yelled at,
dude, if I sat on one of those lean rails, you know what would happen? You'd have two lean rails. Okay. The problem with it is that you're leaning on them, and then they yell at you if your kids like sit down or something on it. They yell at you for that. And so the problem of it is that it's not very conducive to tired kids as well. Parents want to see them, I'm sure. But the problem of it is that, fine, I can go ahead and lean on it, but my kids are not going to really want to lean on it. My son, when he was little, didn't care for it because it's like, I have nothing to lean on because the lean rails are mainly parental size, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Actually, Brian brings up a really interesting point along those lines. He'd like a planetarium.
Animal Kingdom, that would fit very well.
Even Epcot would fit really well too. If they redo Interventions in a way, I think that would fit into the edutainment portion. I like the idea.
Put it there in Rafiki Planet.
Not a bad idea.
I mean, they're bringing it back, so that's neither here nor there, but still.
Let's see. So a few comments on that really quick. Let's see. Chris says SeaWorld has a 360 theater, and he can only do it once because it was animated. If they did a 360 theater, it has to be like actual video, he says. Brandy also says, I just went to the China 360 show. Didn't notice a difference. Mary says, who wants to stand? Ugh. So it's just one of those. Chris also says, they yell at me saying, don't lean on the rails. I yell back and say, build more stable rails. This makes you think. Christine says, I don't want to touch the lean rails after someone's sweaty butt was on there.
A lot of hand sanitizer when you're in Disney. A lot of hand sanitizer.
I can't disagree with that. So there you go. That's my number 4. Your number 3 includes...
No, my number 4.
My number 4. Sorry. I looked at the wrong number. My bad.
So when I was on my last trip, I jumped on the People Mover. Fan favorite ride. Made my top 10. Fantastic ride. Yeah. I was on it and we were cruising. We noticed it also went backwards this time. They changed the route up.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So that wasn't the only one who knows that.
Oh, I noticed it too.
So we're cruising. And I peer to my left and I see the Tron construction. I'm like, wow, this is wonderful. Don't know if I'm going to like the ride, but at least it's something new coming and I enjoy that. And then a smile fell upon my face. I felt the breeze. I knew it was a good day because I looked over and the track of Speedway was demolished. And it was the most joyous moment of I had a lot of great memories on that trip. Nothing beat seeing the carnage that they did to that track and the pile of cars that were laying there. You want to get rid of paper straw? You want to get rid of plastic straws to be more environmental? Get rid of those cars. It always smells like gas, always smells like burnt rubber. All you hear is metal crashing, kids laughing as they rear end their parents. Someone loses their cell phone. The stuffing's coming out of the steering wheel. It stinks like gasoline. You just get rid of it. It is a nightmare. It is a hazard. Those vehicles have not been able to drive straight in 25 years. There has not been a vehicle that makes it all the way around without stalling. It is a travesty that we allow our children to go on this ride. It is unsafe, Disney. It is unsafe.
I haven't had a chance to tell you this, but you know they are bringing it back.
I know, unfortunately, but
okay.
I still had a great moment knowing that it was down for a little while.
I didn't want to crush your spirit there for a minute, and we'll kind of leave it at that. And yeah. I'll just. Oh, Kevin says, "Will someone please give Danny a churro?"
I actually don't like the churro. It's too expensive. $7 for a churro is a lot of money, if you ask me.
I think he's kind of thinking that a churro is a replacement for a certain type of candy bar that people eat when they're grumpy.
I'm not grumpy. I'm realistic. I tell the people what you all are thinking. Okay, I am just coming out and saying it. Lauren's got it right.
Yeah, I saw that. Danny for president. Yeah, Danny's not old enough to be president, so that's why I'm running for president in 2020. We'll have to see that how it goes. So let's see that. Okay, my number 3 spot, right?
Yep.
I really hate to do this. Triceratops spin over at Dino Land.
Well, that made it high on your list.
You know why? The cars for the Triceratops, they always felt smaller than every other type of spinning type of ride, whether it be Dumbo or Aladdin. It just seemed like it was always smaller, and I don't know. Maybe it's the goofy what is it? The goofy music that they play along with it. And Hester's voice, bye every time you hear it. That's gonna drive somebody nuts. I mean, it has to, but I will say that it really did. I mean, it's again. You'll have to wait till my number 1 and you'll understand more in a minute. But Triceratops spin is just one of those that I just let it go. I just pull an Elsa.
Yeah, I'm indifferent about it. I just don't really honestly remember it's ever there. It's like one of those things I just kind of walk right on by.
Although it never has a line.
I wonder why.
Yeah, think about that.
So this one's gonna hurt some people, but it's okay because I tell it how it is. I understand it was Walt's vision. I understand Walt liked it. I understand it's an iconic classic ride.
No.
It's a Small World needs to go.
Oh, okay.
Where did you think I was going? Hold on. What did you think?
I honestly thought you were going to smack up Carousel.
Oh, Carousel of Progress or just the Carousel?
Carousel of Progress.
Oh, gosh. No.
I'm excited.
My top 10 of things I love.
Oh, okay. Because I expected Small World to show up somewhere on your list, and I would be really disappointed and say we have to start over from the beginning.
You need a new list.
Yeah, you almost scared me there for a minute. I'll let you continue, sir.
They need to bring back the clown that says help because that's real life when I'm on that ride. You never saw that? There used to be, all right, so when you make the first turn and there is the clown, well, little kids or whatever, clowns.
Clowns?
I thought it was a clown. I could be mistaken. But they're in the hot air balloons. Mm-hmm. One of the clowns used to hold the sign that said help.
I never knew that.
Google it. I swear it's real life. I never saw it in person, but
so if it's on Google, it's gotta be true, right?
It has to be true. I saw it on the interweb. Listen, I understand it's in kids love it. The parents like to bring their kids. The parents want to relive the memories they have with their families. That's great and dandy. I don't care. Okay? I don't care. It's a scary, scary ride. And the worst case scenario is when you break down. Because you know what? You want to know something? When you break down on that ride, they don't stop singing. I want you to think about that.
Yeah, I mean, Well, Bailey says she misses the clown. Brandy says, I remember that clown.
Thank you. I'm not lying.
Bailey's like, he was the only unhappy person on the ride. Beth says, I think of the Family Guy episode where Stewie gets lost and Disney puts him in there.
Yep.
I never saw that episode of Family Guy, to be honest with you. Mary's like, the boats are so low. Chris disagrees with you, but he says here, he goes, as much as I dislike Small World, it has to stay, especially since they still donate all the change to UNICEF, which I think is cool.
But Kristen says it right. When doesn't Small World break down? How true is that?
There have been, okay, you know what it is? The ride control for Small World, I think, is a little lacking because it always seems like the very end, it's a log jam.
All the time.
All the time. I mean, you are stuck in that last room for a good extra 5 minutes at least. And that doesn't sound like a long time until your butt is already numb.
I want you to all think about this, what Chris just said. This will haunt you in your sleep. They sing all night. The music never stops.
Who says that?
Chris said they don't turn the ride off. According to Chris, I could be wrong, but I read it on the interweb. They sing all night. The music never turns off. So think about that. When you pop awake at 4 a.m, you're like, I heard something downstairs. What could it be? Maybe it's a Small World's playing in the back of your mind. Like, oh my God, there's a horror movie written all over that. Steven Spielberg, call me. I've got it.
I mean, it sounds like punishment for shoplifting in some countries. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's let's see. I'm trying to read some of these other comments without laughing my butt off on camera here. Yeah, so let's go on before. Yeah, let's go on because I think that ride, as much as it is a classic, and I go on it in remembrance of my mom because it was her favorite attraction. Yeah. So my number two. I'm going back to a retired ride because this one I'm glad it's no longer around. And I may get a few daggers thrown at me for this one.
Get reaching deep in that bag, people.
But this was an attraction that once it was all said and done, and I was really excited to see it. Once it was all said and done, we actually threatened my kids that we would go back on this ride if they didn't behave. And they complied. That attraction that is retired is Captain EO.
Wow.
I'm going to go ahead and duck.
I'm not mad about it. It's just, it's been so long that it doesn't affect, I wouldn't even think about it anymore.
Yeah, but it was one of those cases where really it's titleless for a reason. I like the music, some of the music from it, but just, oh my gosh. I mean, it was a technological breakthrough, but it was also a very high production cost at nearly $1 million per minute.
Wow.
And it was nearly 10 minutes long. It was one of the first 3D, or I should say 4D type of films that actually 5D, if you consider that the floor of the theater moves.
That's
Did you ever notice that though with some of the you've been to the Pixar movie festival, short film?
I have not.
Well, you have not. Well, I'll go ahead and spoil it for you. There are some parts where you can actually feel your seat move because the floor of it moves.
Well, that's kind of cool.
It actually really is kind of cool. Technological breakthrough through and through. I couldn't stand the storyline. It was just like, man, Michael Jackson was a great singer. Michael Jackson could not act.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Let's see what kind of heat I got. Oh gosh. Oh, Bailey says prepares dagger, about to throw, pauses. Oh, never mind. I won't throw it because it's Captain Evo. Have a great night. Let's see. Yeah. So
you didn't really catch a lot of heat for it. I think it's just so long. I think the ride's just so long removed from people's memory that it's okay.
But people lost their minds when it came back.
Well, when it came back and what it is now are two different things.
Agreed and understood. I totally, I can't agree with you more. But the fact of the matter is that I'm glad it's gone. But definitely, again, when my son was little, I said, dude, if you don't shape up, we're going to go on Captain EO again. He's like, no, okay. No, seriously.
So we're going to do a quick recap right now. Chris's 10 through 2. He had Stitch's Great Escape, Peter Pan, Navi River, The Up Bird Show, Alien Saucers, Indiana Jones, any and all Circle Vision shows, Triceratops Spin, Captain EO. For me, I had Alien Saucers, Navi River, Country Bear Jamboree, Tom Sawyer Island, Spaceship Earth, Move It, Shake It Parade, Speedway, It's a Small World. I'm going to give you an honorable mention because it was my number 2.
Okay.
But I decided to change my number 2 just now since I realized that Chris changed the title of the show, so I can change my list. So my honorable mention at number 2 would obviously be Peter Pan. Anybody who waits more than 10 minutes for that ride is foolish. And I mean, I was one of those dum-dums that used FastPass for it, but because I wanted Lindsay to try it. So my number 2, Disney buses and monorail.
Oh, don't you dare throw that monorail.
Oh, that monorail. Me and Kathy can have a conversation. That monorail smells like feet and diapers. Okay.
You realize in about 15 seconds that door's going to open.
She's sleeping. Who you kidding?
I don't know if that's a fact or not, but seriously, she's
I'm banking on that. She's sleeping.
Yeah,
the monorail is
so live with her, man. Seriously, she's gonna rip me a new one. It's like, what is that co-host of yours talking about?
But you can explain to her like this. Okay, the doors open while you drive. Windows have fallen out. Parts have fallen off of it. The carpet is stained. There is not enough room. The poles are almost as nasty as the Winnie the Pooh pots. It is a disgusting vehicle, and I cannot wait for the day that they put the new ones in and we can have a bonfire to celebrate with the old ones. But I will not be in the state of Florida when that happens because we will destroy the ozone layer with the smell of burning diapers. Now, on to the buses. I know a lot of the bus drivers. I actually have met some of them from a few of them. I actually have exchanged numbers with a few of them. They are very good people. But with good people, come with some bad ones. Like when you're doing 50 and the bus decides, I have to brake now. And there's so hold on.
That's when you like end up accidentally introducing yourself to someone very intimately.
Yes. and you know, and I am always the type of person that wants to stand so I can give my seat up. And what are they called?
Like a
hand grip? Yeah, hand grips, whatever. They hurt so bad. You couldn't put a bit of a softer, like plastic material on there or something. Like I don't care about the germs that are inside of the fibers that I'm holding on to. I care the fact that when my arm's going numb and that thing is literally cutting off circulation to everything. Yes, Disney transportation. Ew. That's my platform. That's my slogan. Ew. Just those two, because I love Disney buses. Don't know about the gondolas. Gondola, however they want to pronounce
it. Okay. You feel better now?
Okay.
My number 1, right? I don't have an honorable mention. So
the monorail smells like a horse barn. I like that. I'm gonna make that a t-shirt.
Who said that?
Christine, have a t-shirt with the monorail doors open and it's just a horse standing there.
Okay. I'm gonna have to like just block this from my wife. For those of you who are new around here, my wife is like the biggest fan of the monorail. It's as simple as that. She's going to kill me. Okay, my number 1, and I gotta quantify this. Dino Land. Just get rid of Dino Land.
Wait, your number 1 is a land?
It is, because it's so bad. I mean, with the exception of Primeval Hurl, and here's the thing, I didn't know how else to put it. Okay, I already mentioned Triceratops Spin. Primeval Whirl, I love. Everything else there is Carnival, and I don't care for it at all. it doesn't belong. Because first off, everything requires cash, and I never carry a lot of cash with me. It feels just if I want to go to a carnival, I'll go to the county fair type of thing and put a buck down to do a ring toss or that water balloon blow up thing or something to that extent. I just really don't care for it. I don't care for it at all. And you know what? There are a lot of people that since the very beginning of when Animal Kingdom opened, they questioned why Dino Land. Because if you think about it, Dino Land is Carnival, but yet they've got dinosaur in that land, which is a very well laid out attraction.
I actually like that ride.
I do too. It's not a bad attraction. Not one of my tops of any sort, but it's a good ride. I'll go on it. But it's like that. You walk in, walk into there, and it's really kind of cool, very well laid out, as I said. You walk out, and you hear carny rides and stuff like that, and it's just, again, it's okay. There might be a shtick to it, and there's probably a story to it. Outside of Primeval Whirl, not a fan. It's as simple as that. There you go. And actually, Brandy agrees with me. Carnival area is awful. Lauren says, no, it's horrible. Bailey's like, oh, we're good. Yeah, Mary says, go support your local fireman carnival, which that's a great idea. Let's see. Brandy's like, I love dinosaur. Alex mentions Walt Disney. He says Walt Disney never liked carnivals, period. I've watched so much about him. So it's just kind of ridiculous. Again, Primeval Whirl, I love it. Great attraction. It's always a little bit different. I think I put it on my one of my top 10 last time. So there you have it. So let's hear your number one, and I'm gonna
set the mood.
Oh gosh, not again. Wow, now you're all washed out. Yeah, try again.
I don't see myself getting a lot of heat for this one. I don't. But it's something that I feel I need to talk to you all about, because I feel that Disney has done an injustice. Disney has hurt all of you. And I'm not a slip and fall lawyer. I promise you, I will not chase that ambulance. But if you join me, we can revolt on the idea that Disney allowed for years for this establishment to stay open as long as it did. Now, you might be saying to yourself, where is he going with this? What establishment?
Where is he going with this? What establishment?
I'm going to tell you. It's a little old place over at Hollywood Studios that some of you refer to as Pizza Rizzo. I almost said Rizzo again.
You did say Rizzo.
I did. Pizza Rizzo. Now let me tell you something about Pizza Rizzo. I don't even mind it, but I wanted to label it as that so the hatred didn't come out right away. But here it comes. Pizza Planet was an absolute joke. Okay, they literally ruined everything that you could. How is there nothing dark in there? There's no black lights. There's no games. There's no pizza truck outside. They got that stupid snowman on the corner. You couldn't put a pizza truck out front. There's a guy who owns one. Why didn't anybody call him? Make an offer on it. Maybe buy a replica. I don't know. But this is what I'm going to tell you. It is an absolute travesty to the Pixar industry. It's an absolute tragedy to Toy Story fans. You ruined a perfectly good up. You had one job. You had one job. You hit it with Toy Story Mania. You hit it with Buzz. And then you let me down. Okay? You literally cut me down at my knees, Disney. I don't even mind that you serve Elio's pizza, okay? Because let's be real, that's what the pizza you're serving is. It's Elio's in a microwave. You never heard of Elio's pizza?
No.
Those like long square pizzas you slide in your microwave. They're in all your grocery stores.
No, I've never heard of that, but it sounds like something you would get at cafeteria at elementary.
Yes, those are Elio's pizzas.
Oh,
Correct. Those are Elio's pizzas. So you want to serve me that garbage, you guys, you Floridians, all of you assume is pizza. You couldn't even give me deep dish like Chris. I don't even like it. but at least it was a close second to what we like up here in the north. But to serve that, my cafeteria at my middle school served better pizza. Okay? They did. And you know what else my middle school did? Put on a better rendition of Pizza Planet. They didn't, but in my mind they did. You want to know why? Because Disney didn't do it right. 2 aliens, the whole thing, no Buzz, no Woody. What are you doing? What are you doing? It was an absolute travesty. And let me tell you, no, I'm done. That's all I got for you.
Okay. I'm only going to read one comment here. Oh, maybe 2, because they're starting to roll in now. Christine says, preach it, Uncle Sassy Pants. Lauren says, hallelujah.
You don't understand. You don't get. I can't stand up. I really wanted to, but the mic's attached to this.
Chris says, I'm going to slap you with a slice of pizza Rizzo pizza, Danny. Leave us Floridians alone. Bailey says, but they apparently have the best pizza on the planet.
Yeah, not this planet.
No, Mars. It's on Pizza Planet.
I know. I get that.
Okay. Alex says Giordano's pizza, which, well, that's a debate. Sorry, I don't like Giordano's pizza. There's a lot better Chicago style pizza than Giordano's, guarantee you. Let's see. Mary goes, Danny is going off. Goodness. Christine says, take a breath and a drink. Got Bailey rolling. Okay. I think we've made it quite clear that
oh, by the way, Chris Hiller, you're fired.
But we just got his business cards.
You're done. Take a hike. You're done. You're telling me he's got to disagree. I like their pizza. You don't know. You know nothing.
Chris, I'll rehire you in the morning. Anyway. I don't know what to say after that. I really don't. You actually got me speechless, which, let's face it, ladies and gentlemen, doesn't happen often. Wow. I don't know what to say after that. Although I will have to say, I know you feel very passionate about it. And you're right. I did not see that coming a mile away. Simple as that. I mean, you're absolutely right. There's just no way that was foreshadowed. That was kind of ridiculous.
You have no idea when I wrote that one as number 1. I started giggling. I was like, "Oh, this will be fun."
Chris, by the way, Chris does try to redeem himself with you. He goes, "I will agree. No one makes pizza like New York does."
All right, Chris, you're on probationary period. We'll reevaluate in 72 hours.
Why don't you just tell him that we're going to take away his benefit package?
You no longer represent.
Okay. We do these kinds of shows every once in a while just for grins and giggles. And, because you know what? Yeah, sure. There are things that we just don't like. That's okay. Some people do like them. That's great. Everybody does Disney differently. We stand behind our motto because it's an absolute truth. There are some things. I mean, obviously, Danny and I have some things that overlapped. We have things that we do feel passionate about, and we see things through different eyes as well. We enjoy doing these types of top 10s, and we're going to do a few more, and we're going to probably do a couple really good top 10 lists for our marathon show on May 18th. It is going to be a lot of fun. We're also, if you're following with us over at the WDW community page, you'll notice that we're starting to kind of gain some insight from our community as to some fun segments, at least bounce the ideas off of you guys. Fun segments that
I'm not chugging a gallon of milk, by the way.
No, we are not chugging a gallon of milk. No, simple as that. It is just one of those things. We will not be doing that. Some people said I should just go ahead and chug my gallon of green tea.
I would pay for
that. Dude, no. Now, if someone says, Chris, you have to drink that green tea within X period of time, I'll be more than happy to accommodate that because
Be using the potty a little more often than we need him to.
Yeah, they'll be like, Danny, I gotta go. So
I'll just hit myself.
Yeah, we're just no, just one of those things. But still, we love doing these kinds of things, and we love communicating. We're sorry that while our podcast listeners will not notice this, sorry that the Facebook pages have not been reporting the comments. And I have an idea of what may have happened. I'll probably run a test either later tonight or tomorrow just to make sure, but we will get this fixed. And it was absolutely a great time to do it, is to fix it now before that big show. May 18th, 10 a.m., 10 p.m. Eastern time. Mark it on your calendars. We really would love to have you guys there. Danny, any last comments before we press this button here?
Pizza Planet was a terrible mistake. Even though I'm wearing a hat, the irony is hilarious. Take us away.
You heard the show, and we hope you want more. Well, feel free to join us over at our social media platforms. Instagram and our Facebook page can be found at Behind the Ears Podcast. Our webpage is behindtheearspodcast.net, and our email is behindtheearspodcast@gmail.com. And our Twitter handle is @BehindTheEarsPC. And come and join the conversation about all things Disney over at the WDW community page. Don't forget to rate and review the show over at iTunes or Apple Podcasts, as it really helps us get the word out about the show. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the show on iTunes or Apple Podcasts or the Podbean app. Also, you can listen to us on Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, and via Alexa and Google Home.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to another episode of Behind the Ears Podcast. Once again, I am Uncle Danny. That was Mr. Chris. We go live every Tuesday and Thursday at 9:45 p.m. Eastern on Facebook and YouTube. You can also catch all our shows on any podcast catcher out there. Like Chris says, don't forget to follow us on iTunes and follow us all over the social media realm, including our Facebook group, and Trisha would kill me if I didn't mention it. Go join the WDW community over on Facebook. 4,000 members strong, and we just have an absolute blast. Like Chris said, May 18th, very long 12-hour marathon show to raise money for Give Kids the World. We every year so far we have raised more money than the year prior, so we're hoping to raise a lot of money this year. Again, as you know, we do appreciate it. We don't ever ask for money during the year, so this is the time that we usually like you guys to dig deep into those pockets and help us out. This year we have some fantastic things going up for auction. We're changing it up a little bit this year, and obviously all money will be added into our donation pot for Give Kids the World. And we'll mention this a million times, we do not touch the money goes directly to the charity, just so everybody's clear on that.
And as for auction items, I want to let everybody know I actually got a piece today that was actually a really cool mini movie poster from the original Aladdin. Ooh. Signed by the actress that plays Jasmine.
Very cool.
That was donated to us by our friends over at Give Kids the World Village.
We have some Star Wars stuff. We have some Disney stuff. Mm-hmm. We have some big ticket items. And we'll be setting that up, and we'll be sharing out the links as time goes on and everything like that. So with that being said, I hope you all have a safe and wonderful rest of your week. We'll see you on Thursday. I am Uncle Danny. Tuck your kids in tight. Wear your seatbelts. And hey, Chris, don't forget, clean, not you, the other Chris. Clean out your desk by noon. I don't want to see your face anymore. Until next time. Bye.
And thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. And Chris, you're hired back tomorrow at 1 p.m. after lunch. And
we're not paying for that lunch.
I'll buy you lunch, Chris. I'll buy you lunch. It'll probably be at Andy's lunchbox, and it'll probably be some tachos, but I'll buy you lunch. And with that being said, thank you for another awesome episode of Behind the Ears Podcast. We love you guys, and by all means, until we meet again, we hope you have a magical day. Take care.